Gaming on Apple devices have always been a little bit of an afterthought in the gaming space, and even with Apple itself. In the past, Macs could use external GPUs via Thunderbolt to improve performance. However, that was always hardly convenient or cost efficient. And then on the mobile side, even though it accounts for over half of the gaming market share in the world, gaming on your phone isn't quite viewed the same as gaming on a console or a PC. However, there's been a trend happening over at Apple ever since the introduction of the M1 chip, and that's dedicated gaming support with their GPUs on Mac. And now with the iPhone 15 events, Apple is undoubtedly making real investments into gaming on their devices. So let's briefly talk about the Apple Watch and the iPhone 15 event, but primarily seeing if Apple's really trying to make a big bet into gaming. Hey, Danny with the DMGT here, your new favorite place for all things music, gaming, and tech. Alright, so let's do a quick rundown of the Apple iPhone 15 event that included the Apple Watch Series 9 and the Apple Watch Ultra 2. Now, for the most part, all of these devices got marginal upgrades, nothing too crazy. The two-finger gesture setting on the Apple Watch Series 9 has actually been an accessibility setting in past Apple Watches. So technically, nothing really new there, although the increased brightness to 2000 nits is actually very nice for outdoors. And the Apple Watch Ultra continues to be a bit of a niche device for the real hardcore hikers and swimmers. So some relatively tame updates there. A similar deal with the iPhone 15, although obviously the big news here is moving to USB-C, but that's not really the only thing. Apple yet again dedicated a decent amount of time to gaming, and this time it was on the iPhone. Over the past few events, I'm sure you've noticed that a lot more time has been dedicated to gaming performance on Mac. That's not to say that Apple hasn't spent time talking about gaming on iPhone before. I mean, I remember going all the way back to iPhone 4 when the Retina display was introduced. There were demonstrations on gaming performance that weren't just apps like Candy Crush. However, this time around feels different because Apple is talking about console performance on iPhone 15 Pro.
And this new level of performance will enable new games for iPhone 15 Pro that were previously only available on game consoles, PCs, or the Mac.
That's Resident Evil Village, Resident Evil 4 Remake, and getting Assassin's Creed Mirage onto iPhone 15 natively I think is something that I wasn't expecting. I mean, even as recently as 2022, Apple was rumored to be in talks to acquire EA. Now, I know what you're thinking. We already have mobile version of games such as Call of Duty Mobile, NBA 2K on mobile, FIFA on mobile, on top of older legacy games that have been ported over. However, for the most part, those are generally stripped down versions of the primary console or PC game that you would get. This time feels a little bit different. Obviously, we're gonna have to wait to get iPhone 15 Pro into our hands, which I will be getting, so make sure to subscribe. However, it feels like somehow Apple is quietly entering the gaming space to become a real contender. Now, I don't know if that necessarily means that they're going to make a console or a cloud streaming service similar to Game Pass. Like I mentioned, Apple Arcade does exist, but mobile games still carry sort of a stigma in the gaming space. But if you could even get those Resident Evil games and that Assassin's Creed running at 30 frames per second at 1080p, at that point you're already outperforming the Switch and things start getting interesting. Obviously, don't buy an iPhone for gaming specifically. That's a very inefficient way of pound for performance. However, the idea of a future where iPhone is a legitimate option for your AAA games, I think that starts getting really interesting and something that I'm going to be keeping an eye on. But let me know what you think. I think the evidence is there that Apple really wants to ingrain themselves into the gaming space a little bit more. Obviously, there's a lot more to the iPhone 15 Pro that isn't just gaming, the upgraded camera, USB 3. I'll be doing some more coverage and a review on it once it arrives, some game testing as well. So make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on those. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time.